This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2, Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, July 20th. I'm Jeff here with my friends Stephanie and Brandon. How we feeling? How we feeling, crew?
Lovely. How are you feeling?
I feel like $1 million.
Aww.
Jeff, you scare me when you do all that bro stuff sometimes.
Why?
It was just like, I feel like $1 million. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
I just had a shake.
Oh, all right.
I just had a shake. I don't know. I'm just trying to pump you guys up.
I love
Sometimes it's a
it.
lot of just hot air, but I'm just trying to pump you guys up. You know what I mean? All right, let's jump right in now that we're all fired up. Prince Harry's deal to write a memoir is reportedly causing a stir in the palace. So Harry will get paid $20 million to write the tell-all, but will be donating it all to charity. So in a statement, he said he is writing the book not as the prince he was born, but as the man he has become. I like that. He went on to say, quote, "I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to share what I've learned over the course of my life so far and excited for people to read his firsthand account of my life that's accurate and wholly truthful." But according to Page 6, Prince Charles was surprised by the news, and the Mirror's reporting that both his dad and Prince William are nervous about what Harry will write. Obviously, right? The book will come out later this year, but I'm kind of interested to hear what he's going to spill, too. I want to hear some tea. I want to hear what happens behind closed doors. I want to hear all the good stuff.
I think we're going to hear a lot more from Harry in this book than we've seen with I think the Oprah interview obviously was very shocking, you know, with Meghan, and a lot of it was about Meghan's experience and why he felt he had to leave. But I think we're going to really get an insight into what it's like growing up in the palace for him, all like the trials and tribulations that he's had, all of the scandal that he's been involved in. There's been a lot.
Right.
Him dressing, you know, in a certain way which was not respectful at all. Him getting in trouble with gambling and all sorts of the different circles that he knows. There's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot in there, and how he said it's not about him being the prince, but like the man he's become. I think we're going to get a real insight into that journey and also how difficult it's been.
So read into that subliminal. It's not about him being the prince. It's about the man he's become. All the drugs, all the partying, yes, he's going to put that in there. But I don't think you're going to get the tea that you really want when it comes to going after that royal family and embarrassing that name.
I don't think he'll embarrass them.
It is not. I don't understand. I think you guys, I think a lot of people are reading it thinking there's going to be some bombshell in there. We're going to already have heard, we've already heard, I believe, what I think he's going to put in there. So that's a touchy.
So that's a letdown.
Because you can't. It's not. I wouldn't call it a letdown. Are you really going to go against your? This is your family. This is your blood. Are you really going to go against your family and continue to try and profit off that?
If he's breaking away from them, I want to know, like, the equivalent of who killed JFK, but in England's terms. Like, I want a secret to come out. You know what I'm saying?
I think there will be secrets, but I think it'll be more things like the day-to-day runnings of being a prince, what it feels like to be in the royal family, the things that he could and couldn't do. I think it's going to be more insightful than gossipy.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever see Coming to America? Is it like that?
I don't think it's going to be like that.
He's not working at McDowell's. Yeah.
Once a week, me and Brandon got to bring up Coming to America. All right, guys. Well, it turns out we all got pranked by my boy, the Beebs.
You really thought it was true?
I did. Yesterday, Justin had us all in a tizzy after he posted this photo with his wife, Haley, with the caption, "Mom and Dad." I thought that was simple enough. What a cute way. But it turns out the two are just adopting a dog. Haley set the record straight, writing, quote, "I think you should maybe change this caption to Dog Mom and Dad before anyone gets it twisted."
Yeah.
That cute old Beebs, he tricked me.
Jeff is devastated. Jeff is devastated.
No, I'm not devastated. I'm not even mad either.
Did you think it was time?
I thought it was the time. I thought he's very happy. I thought this is the right time in his life. There is no right time to have a baby. I shouldn't say that time, but I thought he was ready. He already tricked us before with that sonogram on April Fool's, remember?
That was naughty.
I thought he wasn't going to go back to that, but he did.
But aren't you supposed to learn from your lesson? You just remember the blowback he got from that from people who struggle with fertility issues or infertility. So I don't understand why he would do that. You know, it's almost like you're asking for that negative attention. You know, you got what, 1.5, 2 million? I don't know how many Beebs has.
100 million.
He has like 100 million people, and you know, people like look at how a grown man's eyes just lit up when he was like, "Oh, silly Beebs."
It's like the end of the world.
No, it's not the end of the world, but any blowback he gets from this, you have to eat it.
I think he definitely alluded that they were going to be parents. He didn't make out like, oh yeah, we've adopted a pet. No, he alluded that they were having a baby.
But that doesn't necessarily mean you're insulting someone who's struggling to have a child.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Put those two together and come after Biebs for that.
I think when he posted the picture of a scan, that's different. This is more like lighthearted and silly.
Yeah. He just did a little trick. You know, a little trick for the Biebs. It was a Monday trick.
When I was in LA,
I love how Jeff is so on his side that he could do literally anything, and he's like, it's a little trick.
Yeah, don't get mad about it. Just fun, a little fun on a Monday.
Is that really like your man crush?
He loves
Justin
him.
Bieber
You have no idea.
John Stamos or Justin Bieber? Like,
No.
If you could have a day with
Stamos or Bieber,
Yeah.
I'd probably hang with Biebs.
Okay.
I'd probably hang with Biebs, but I'd feel weird. I'd feel more comfortable with John Stamos. Biebs is like 27. Like, hey, dude, want to go watch my kids? Like, I don't know. What am I going to do with him?
He is mom and dad now.
What would you do with Biebs? You're the party guy. Where would you take
I'm not
him?
like a party guy. I like being entertained.
But you have better suggestions.
Yeah,
Where
I like
should
being
go?
entertained. I'm gonna hang out just like I've hung out with
He
celebrities
probably
like
wants
that
to go
before.
and play sports or something.
He likes hockey.
Yeah.
All right, now it's
go to
getting
a hockey
creepy.
match. There you go.
Now it's getting
Done.
creepy. All right, let's move on. Sports Illustrated made history with its swimsuit covers. Megan Thee Stallion became the first rapper to grace the cover, and Lena Bloom became the first transgender model on the cover. But it's this cover of tennis player Naomi Osaka that's causing controversy. So on Twitter, Megyn Kelly called Naomi out for posing on the cover after claiming she was too introverted to talk to the media after tennis matches. Remember that, right? In a now deleted tweet, Naomi said she shot her magazine covers last year, so before all that incident happened, and told Megyn to, quote, do better. Megyn fired back with this tweet saying, quote, poor Naomi blocked me while taking a shot at me. Guess she's only tough on the courts. Truth is, she just doesn't like questions she can't control. Admit it.
Well, she's already said she doesn't like questions. That's why she won't do interviews, so no shock, Megyn.
I think we all need to understand this was shot last year.
Yeah, but even if it wasn't, it's very different doing a photo shoot where there's probably going to be a closed set of a very few small amount of people than like a national press conference where there's all
you're expecting, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Megyn Kelly looks like one of those old rappers that are upset with where hip hop has gone right now. That's what that sounds like to me, because if you don't know, that's why everyone came out and was like, these, between the Vogue, between Sports Illustrated, and there was another one, Vanity Fair, I believe. Those were shot last year. This was before this whole controversy with her feeling like an introvert and not wanting to talk to the press after one of her matches. So it just shows you how people just go on Twitter looking for a fight. Now, when everyone was coming at Megyn Kelly after saying, do better, you're going after a young lady, women shouldn't be pitted up against each other, Megyn Kelly was the one who shut down on Twitter. Same thing as Piers Morgan. It's like you want to be a troll, but when you get bullied, you're the first one that wants to walk off set or delete tweets. I'm getting tired of these old people like trying to go at the younger generation. I'm really having a problem with it. Clout chasing.
All right, just for the sake of conversation, because I agree with you guys, right?
Yeah.
What is she even doing commenting on
That's what I mean. Like, what is she doing? It's a bit
unless you just want to keep your name in the press. Does she have a point in this sense? I'm just taking the other side.
Yeah.
No. That Naomi Osaka is introverted and she can't do interviews because she's too afraid to do things like that. But then you go ahead and do a cover of Sports Illustrated.
It's like
do you see the?
I understand. It's comparing apples and oranges. They're two completely different environments with two completely different.
But if you're truly introverted, you're not really going to get in front of those cameras and take pictures and feel good about yourself for a Sports Illustrated cover.
I think that's very different when you've had your hair done, your makeup done. There's a stylist there.
You feel pretty.
She's going to be made to feel beautiful. It's going to be on a closed set with very few people. That's probably her immediate team, versus again sitting in a live event full of thousands of people, loads of cameras, asking unauthorized questions that weren't pre-approved. It's completely different.
And I understand the athletes that's in their contract. We have to talk to the press. But just think, after you had a terrible game, and then you got some Yahoo asking you dumb questions. Oh, did you feel as though your Nike slipped on the court or something like that? You're not trying to answer that dumb stuff. You want to talk to the reputable beat writers who actually have questions that are asking to educate the viewer. There are other people just in the press that are trying to elicit some sort of wrong response out of you. It's two different things between a photo shoot and dealing with the press.
And also, Naomi also will have had a lot of control over the interview and anything that's written about her. She can sit down calmly in her own time, read and answer the questions. She's not put on the spot where things are being fired at her. Yeah, it's completely different.
But you can't back away from it. You got to be able to face that fire, though. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, but Megyn, what's she got to do with it? Is she a sports star? Is she having to get put under fire? No, she's not. Go home, Meghan.
This is why I like Beeb stories. They're so much cuter. Coming up on DBL, Ryan Simpkins from the hit Netflix trilogy Fear Street joins us, and they talk about being non-binary in Hollywood. Plus, Ryan Reynolds says he made the first move with his wife, Blake Lively. How did it go down in your own relationship? Ooh, let's find out.
Closed captioning provided by
DBL is back with all new shows live. And this is where I'm going to push back.
And I can't follow that.
I'm not going to sit on this show and not say anything. If you disagree with us, that's A-OK. DBL, all new every day.
Hi, DBL Nation. It's Kelly Schubert here with the DBL Digital Team. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us today. Let's go to the desk and continue the conversation. Hi, guys.
Can we go back to Naomi?
Of course we can, yeah.
It's.
What do you think, Kelly? Oh, go on.
It's clout chasing, and then I don't mean to call anyone old or anything. Megyn
Kelly?
Megyn
Oh, yeah,
Kelly,
that's exactly what she's doing.
She has accomplishments, so I can't just say that she's just some podcaster or
No,
blogger
she does have
coming at her.
accomplishments,
But
for sure.
You should know that when you shoot something, whether it be video or for print, it takes a while before that to come out. So to try and
She knows that. She knows that.
Trying to frame that narrative that she's like, no, I don't want to do press, but you can turn around and you'll do Sports Illustrated. It's disrespectful. It's dishonest.
She was just, I agree with you. She was just clout chasing. She was just trying to get attention because nobody's been talking about Megyn Kelly lately, and now they're talking about her
But I think they'll be talking about it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't care, though.
And then she's like,
She really
oh
don't
no,
care,
you
yeah.
blocked me. Like, yeah, because you were mean.
Because
Exactly.
Piers Morgan comes out. Oh, look how oily I am today.
Those papers
Ew,
are
Brandon! That is nasty.
I am Kanye
Wait,
shiny
like that.
today.
My
Let me see
papers
this.
look exactly like that. I'm not
From your hands?
Hey,
not from my hand.
it's from my
no,
forehead.
but from my head.
From my forehead. Look, we're gonna sell it on DBL, on Facebook Watch. We're
Who
gonna sell
wants
it.
it?
We want
Who
some
wants
Brandon
it?
London oil. Yeah, light it up. Put a little Luther Vandross on in the back. Yeah.
Thank you, Ira.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, how was your weekend? You just got back.
Yeah.
He's been living
it's
the
funny, we're about to
dream.
talk about a dating story. And I went to LA. I had a really great date and stuff. So I'm
I
gonna
know.
throw-
I
I'm gonna
can't
throw
wait
it
to
out in
hear.
there. Put a little
Yeah.
bit of the life and,
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of oh yeah. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
DBL Nation, stay tuned for that conversation coming up. It's going to be a good one. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. Ryan Reynolds is revealing how he and his wife, Blake Lively, got together. So speaking on the Smartless podcast, Ryan said the two met while filming The Green Lantern, but says they were just friends at the time. No pun there, because he was in a movie, Just Friends. And went on a double date with different people. Ryan joked that he made the first move by begging Blake to sleep with him while on a train together to Boston, but said his next move was even bolder. Let's take a listen.
We always kind of kept in touch, but sort of casually.
Yeah, who made the first move? Was it you?
Yes. It was kind of one of those silly sort of like out of a fairy tale. I was like a week later, I was like, we should buy a house together.
Wow.
We should. No, and we did.
So, dang.
Wow, I was gonna say, wow, that's
How do you go from begging to sleep together to buying a house
in
together?
a week. That's wild.
Hey, you're in love. But here, I don't want, this is what, I want to hear how
okay.
you guys, like, who makes the first move in your relationships and things like that. When I heard something like that, I almost was like taken back a little because it almost sounds too aggressive for a man in these times to say, I begged her to sleep with me and I made the first. It almost sounds a little
I
aggressive
feel like
to me in
he's
these
really
times.
cheeky though, so you get a sense of who he is, and you know he's like teasing. You know,
Plus,
he's
listen,
meant to be
I
practiced
get it.
there.
I get it. I'm saying,
and they're together, so you can tell that
Yeah.
story.
let's get off that because I don't want to go down that road. But you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Brandon, let's start with you. Do you make the first move in your relationship?
Yeah, man, because look, relationship, I haven't had one in quite some time, but now that I am dating with intention, it's different than dating casually. You don't understand? Like, dating casually, you make a move, you don't care if you hear it back or not, slide in the DM, that's cool, but when you're dating with intention, I'm realizing, like, you have to be consistent like oh man, I don't even like, without getting myself in trouble like that, but like just going out into LA this weekend. I had a great time, but now it's like the pressure's on because yes, you've set the bar so high. This is what she thinks of you. People say like, don't introduce someone to a vibe that you can't maintain. Yeah. So I think that's the hardest part now, is trying to keep up with that.
So Brandy got a DWI this weekend, but it wasn't the drinking and driving one.
What does DWI mean?
Dating with intention, man. Keep up, buddy. That's your new slogan.
All right. That sounds like a Bieber song.
They do say that. They say that though. They say like the first 3 to 6 months anyone can like put on a certain facade, right? But then after that you really see them as they are. So I get what you mean. Like you've got to, you know, maintain that level.
How about you, Steph? As a woman, do you feel the need to make a first move, or do you like when the man makes the first move?
I don't really mind. I think, you know, I care more if I get on with the person, and if you know, I've asked people out before and vice versa. It doesn't really bother me either way.
It's called Bumble. Didn't women make the first move?
No, I remember there was one guy, this is a long time ago, and I just went up to him and asked him out. I was like, wow, he seems really nice. I've seen him out a few times.
I thought when we were talking about the first move, it was like a kiss.
Oh.
That's what I was going with, because my first move, when I'm saying kiss, was caught on national television because it was me and my wife. Yeah, I think we got a little clip.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I really like Jordan. We've been in his house for a while. I was really shooting to, you know, pull the romance card. I've been looking forward to kissing her, and tonight might be the night.
Oh my God, I'm so not tired. I do like kissing Jeff. He is a good kisser. He's not sloppy, wet.
Oh my God! I haven't watched that in so while. I'm like blushing. That's embarrassing.
That was you?
Buddy, that was Biebs Jeff.
Bro, you are a boy band member reincarnated in the flesh.
I wish I was.
So what was that like? Were you nervous?
Yeah,
Cameras
you
there?
Just went in. You just went in.
Yeah, it looks like a little weird. I just creeped into the room.
Yeah,
I slept in that bed.
Yeah, she's in bed asleep. You just like pounced
Night
on
vision camera. I like crawled in like a
get sliding in the DMs. I see he slid in the sheets.
No. No, that's all we did in there. But yeah, that was after a little while of knowing each other. So I was like,
were you nervous to go and give her a kiss, or did she say like, come meet me in the bedroom, or like what happened before then?
I don't know.
So many questions.
Thank you, music, for playing. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
We all know that this year, the Olympics have become risky business for some sponsors. Let's connect the dots. Companies usually spend hundreds of millions of dollars to have the chance to reach a global audience as fans flock to host cities. But this year, no international fans are allowed. That means the streets of Tokyo will be a lot quieter than expected. So sponsors are losing out on the opportunity to show off to international visitors. But they're also dealing with local backlash. According to one survey, 2/3 of the Japanese people say they are worried the Olympics will become a super spreader event. On the bright side, if things go smoothly, there's a potential for a record-breaking TV audience. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. At just 23, Ryan Simpkins is breaking all the rules on and off set. Earlier, we spoke to Ryan about their new movie and being non-binary in Hollywood. That's today's DBL Spotlight.
We are here with Ryan Simpkins, one of the stars of the new Netflix trilogy Fear Street. Yes, so the film takes place in Shadyside, and it's been haunted for centuries. This show is right up my alley, and I love the name Shadyside. I want to visit. Now, Ryan, tell us about Fear Street.
There it is. It's not just a diary, it's a map.
I mean, Fear Street is so exciting because it takes the great horror genre and just takes all of these tropes we know and love and flips them all on their head. We have all of these fun, dorky, outcast characters who would normally be killed in like the first 20 minutes, who are our heroes. And it's just like a really fun cast of kids, and everyone's so good, and they're really exciting.
You're playing like a punk-fueled character named Alice in Fear Street Part 2, 1978. Who are you channeling to get to where you need to in that character?
Alice is so much fun. I studied a lot of like 1970s early punk.
Yes.
I watched a bunch of Joan Jett performances, a little bit of Debbie Harry, some David Bowie as well, just to be like, who would this crazy, chaotic teenage girl want to be?
Ryan, you identify as non-binary. So if a viewer didn't know what non-binary was, how would you explain it to them?
Non-binary is an identity that exists outside the binaries of like male and female, you know, but non-binary is sort of this really large term that can mean a million things to a million different people. But for me personally, it means I have a little bit of masculinity and a little bit of femininity within me.
You're an advocate for LGBTQ rights. Do you wish growing up that you had more role models? Maybe you did. Did you not?
Luckily, my mom, when I was pretty young, had a conversation with me, sort of being like, some, you know, boys are attracted to boys and girls are attracted to girls. So with queerness from a young age, I was aware of it, which I'm really lucky to be. But the gender conversation just wasn't happening, at least not in my town when I was growing up.
Before you jump in, Al, this is as a parent, I just, you know, I want to learn, right? And if there's any viewers out there that are watching that feel like that their child is struggling with their gender identity, Ryan, what advice could you give them to make sure that their child feels empowered, seen, heard?
I mean, the best thing to do is listen and try to facilitate however you can that expression. You know, it's an ever-changing thing with every person. You know, some days someone may feel like one thing and then the next day they may feel like another. So you just have to be patient and grow with them.
I think it's an interesting thing for maybe us to embrace that gender is fluid. And I think the fact that you're able to talk about this so articulately is really helping a lot of people your age and my age. So really quickly, are there any misconceptions that you could clear up for people about being non-binary?
So one thing I would say is I agree, like, it's not a new thing. You see it in the 70s with our icons like David Bowie or like with Prince. But since the beginning of time, you know, you look back in history and there are plenty of gender non-conforming people throughout. There are indigenous two-spirit people. I would say another big misconception is that non-binary people have to be androgynous. I find a lot of people tried to make non-binary sort of a third binary, which is the opposite point of the whole gender, you know?
Ryan, we are fans. Thank you for spending time with us here at DBL. And to our viewers, you can watch Fear Street streaming on Netflix now. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Are these billionaires and their crews the first space tourists in history? Our sources, 3 space exploration experts. Have we seen space tourists before?
Absolutely, and it depends on how you define the term space tourist.
Space historian Dr. Roger Launius points back to the 1980s, when NASA developed a program to train non-career astronauts and send them to space. But they weren't tourists. Each had a task. 2 congressmen flew for political purposes. Then in 1986, Krista McAuliffe, a teacher, joined the crew of the Challenger.
But she was to fly on that particular mission to perform a specific task, which was to teach children. And the idea behind this was, wouldn't it be great if we can inspire the next generation?
After the ship exploded mid-flight, killing the crew, NASA paused the program. Space tourism didn't take off until 15 years later, 2001, when billionaire Dennis Tito paid a reported $20 million for a ride on a Russian spaceship to the International Space Station.
For no other purpose than tourism, just to be there because he was there.
Since then, a handful of space tourists have paid millions to hitch a ride on Russian space shuttles.
And there's now been 7 or 8 of these individuals.
But it's never happened here, making Richard Branson and his crew the first space tourists in U.S. history. Though there is one point of contention. Did Branson actually get to space?
It's always going to be contentious.
Dr. Eric Seedhouse teaches spaceflight operations at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
There are 2 definitions of space.
Branson's Virgin Galactic flight reached 54 miles above Earth, just past the 50-mile threshold NASA and the FAA used to mark the start of space. But the international organization that regulates space and keeps official records actually sets the start of space at 100 kilometers, roughly 62 miles, known as the Kármán line. Jeff Bezos plans to soar 66 miles up this Tuesday and cross the Kármán line. Blue Origin, Bezos' company, took a jab at Virgin Galactic on Twitter, saying their rocket, New Shepard, was designed to fly above the Kármán line so none of their astronauts have an asterisk next to their name.
There will always be an asterisk next to those flights if you get below 62 miles and still try and call it space.
So we can verify, these billionaires and their crews are not the first space tourists in world history, but they are the first in U.S. history, with many more flights on the horizon. With your Verify, I'm Gabe Cohen.
Welcome back to DBL. The home improvement boom isn't letting up anytime soon, and we're chatting about it on today's Bang for Your Buck presented by The Hartford. So according to Home Advisor, the top 3 household projects last year were painting bedrooms. I did it. Remodels and installing new floors. I did some of those. But how are homeowners paying for all this? Most people are using cash for their projects, followed by credit cards, line of credit, and loans. So when it comes to your home, having the right insurance is key. We made it easy for you. For quality and affordable insurance, the Buck's got your back. The Hartford will be happy to provide you solutions. Call the Hartford at 1-800-684-6085 or visit thehartford.com to learn more.
Fix and flips.
Fix and flips. I like it.
I watch a lot of HGTV.
I love it. We'll see you guys tomorrow.